As if the market volatility didn't scare us enough, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said something truly chilling, and it could spell disaster for every American. This is serious. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If there is one member of Trump's cabinet who is unqualified for his job, well, that would be most people in his cabinet. But if there is one that seems to actually endanger Americans through his nutbag beliefs, not just ineptitude, that would be RFK. The former junkie who loved killing animals to feed his pet birds. The man with the brainworm. The man who left a bear cub carcass in Central Park. And of course, the man who said asinine things like this.
So you have gained notoriety for your skepticism about vaccines. And over the summer in an interview you said, quote, "There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective." Do you still believe that?
I never said that.
So stop me. We have the clip. Please play the clip.
Play the whole clip.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
So you did say it. Do you still believe it?
Well, here's what I would say. First of all, I'm not anti-vaccine.
How is that statement not anti-vaccine?
Well, I can say right now there's no medicine for cancer that's safe and effective. It doesn't mean I'm against all medicines.
Or this.
Let me ask you if you think it's wise for people to take these vaccines, because you had this to say on a different podcast about whether people with young babies should be getting them shots. Watch.
For many, many years, I think parents were so gaslighted and they were scapegoated and they were vilified and marginalized, so that even parents of kids who were very, very badly injured knew what happened to their kid, but they were just reluctant to talk about it. And I think now those days are over. Our job is to resist and to talk about it to everybody. If you're walking down the street, and I do this now myself, which is, I don't want to do, I'm not a busybody. I see somebody on a hiking trail carrying a little baby, and I say to them, better not get them vaccinated. And he heard that from me. If he hears it from 10 other people, maybe he won't do it. Maybe he will save that child.
And it's not like there is the biggest measles outbreak in the United States in 5 years this year, and we're only 4 months in, right? If that doesn't sicken you, excuse the phrasing, this next bit will. While meeting with Donald Trump this morning, Kennedy revealed that his next big crusade will be curing autism. Kennedy, who has denounced vaccines in the past because he believes they cause autism, has some grand plans. Take a look.
And we are going, at your direction, we are going to know by September we've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So big. Think of that. So it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. Not 31,000, 31. That's a horrible statistic, isn't it? And there's got to be something artificial out there that's doing this. So you think you're going to have a pretty good idea, huh?
We will know by September.
There will be no bigger news conference than that. So that's it. If you can come up with that answer where you stop taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. It can't be from 10,000 to. Can you imagine that, Marco? That's a big number. Thank you very much. You're doing great.
Oh, sweet Lord. Maybe it's something they ate. Maybe it's a shot. Kennedy pledged not to interfere with vaccinations in this country, and here he is with Trump suggesting there is some shot that causes autism. What could he mean? All right, let's break this down. First of all, vaccines don't cause autism. That claim has been debunked over and over again. Don't try to convince me otherwise. Also, part of the reason cases in autism have spiked is because there is now better detection of autism among healthcare and educational professionals. There's also the development of something called the autism spectrum. For example, what used to be known as Asperger's syndrome, which was a similar condition to autism but was considered distinctive, is now lumped in on what's called the autism spectrum. In other words, doctors have changed the definition of what constitutes autism to be much broader than it was. Also, scientists have been trying for years to identify the cause of autism. That's nothing new. But it's very complicated. There might be multiple causes, or it could be a combination of factors. For example, my alma mater, the University of Central Florida, found that women who ingest high amounts of processed foods have a higher incidence of producing autistic children. That study specifically identified the chemical called propionic acid as a commonality in all the causes that it studied. Genetics also appear to play a role because mothers who give birth to an autistic child have an 80 to 90% chance of having other autistic children. But back to Kennedy. We know the man doesn't like vaccines, so it seems like this is a pretext. Does it mean he wants to get rid of vaccines from circulation? How's that going to affect the health of our population, especially when it comes to American children? Vaccines have effectively eliminated polio and smallpox worldwide. Are those going to come back into style the same way measles has? Look, the bottom line here is this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not qualified for his job, nor does he have the responsible judgment to do it, and now he's putting the entire population at risk. We already had one pandemic during a Trump presidency. Let's hope Kennedy doesn't bring about round 2. I'm David Reddish.